Oh, my goodness. It is party time. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. It is Monday, and I discovered this morning that Siri cannot drive in Dallas traffic. It's like right there at the exit. When you're 4 lanes over, that's when she says, take the exit. I love Siri. We're just days away, Puppet Master and Super Mario Chris Cruz. Listen, Mark and Chris, we're just days away from the new improved, newly renovated Chad Prather Show. Literally, it's coming. It's coming sometime around January. What? When are we back? When it's all done? The 3rd? The 3rd of January. So we're going to go through this week, and then we're going to be, we've got one more show. The final show of the year will be the 20th, and that'll be next Monday. And Chris, are we going to do any replays or anything through the final weeks, or are we just going to let it go?
It'll be all replay until January 3rd.
All replay. So you'll have a chance to get caught up if you want. Of course, I want to encourage you guys, be following me on Facebook. I promise you. I will do some Facebook Lives. We'll talk about things. I'll try to do it every day. Try to do it every day all the way through the Christmas holidays. Because that's what I like to do. I like to stay in touch. I don't like the momentum to stop, and I have things I want to talk about. One of the new things that I'm doing and encouraging people to do is go and join at You Do Social. It's a new social network that's out there. It's been around for a minute, but I've been using it, getting better and better at it. It's a subscription deal, so you can't be censored on there. Somebody said, oh, my God, you got to pay money to be free. Yeah, that's kind of the way it works these days. You got to pay not to have so much communism in your life. And God bless free market economy. But use promo code Chad if you sign up over there. Follow me on Telegram at Watch Chad. Are you on Telegram? Either of y'all do any of that? Like I've kind of started, I've dabbled in Telegram just last night. I've started enabling the chat where people can comment back. I don't know if I'm going to have time to keep up with all of that. But I'm posting to Telegram every day. We're doing Free Space. We're doing Gab. We're doing Twitter. We're doing Twitter. Twitter is a good, I'll tell you where Twitter is helpful. Twitter is a good litmus test just to see what level of asshole people are operating on, right? Like you just post something out there. I said the most profound thing that made people mad because I know everybody's like, you just got to quit cussing. And I'm like, people need to relax because they act like cussing is the unpardonable sin. Listen, if you have a BMI, a body mass index over 28, then you got bigger sins to worry about than cussing. All right, like gluttony is an actual sin versus your interpretation of what you think a curse word is. But I said something, Chris, so profound last night on social media, and I want you to think about it. I said the thing about assholes is once the shit comes out, they can't put it back in. They can't take it back in. It's so true. It's so profound. Watch what you say, people. Watch what you put out there because you can't take it back. And out here in this political game that I've been playing, crisscrossing Texas, wow. Wow. Some of the people that are supposedly in leadership, it's amazing to me the things that they say and do. But that's a side note. Anyway, follow me on social media. We're out there. We're doing it. We're putting the content out there, having a good time. Of course, subscribe at YouTube if you're not already. And tell your friends about us. And you know what? Still get the book, Am I Crazy? It's been a wild and crazy year, 2021, where we just let our corruption just lay out there. But I'll tell you what, some good things have happened. Of course, we know the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict that came back. Jussie Smollett was, we'll talk about that a little bit. 5 out of 6 counts, he was charged guilty. We saw that Brian Williams has resigned from NBC, and Chris Matthews has resigned from Fox. He's going to go over to CNN. Chris Wallace, I'm sorry. Chris Matthews. I don't even know if Chris Matthews, with his tingle up his leg, is still alive. Anyway, Chris Wallace has done it. Good riddance to him. Let's see. So many other things are happening. And all of the while, nobody's talking about the Ghislaine Maxwell deal. Nobody. Ghislaine Maxwell. She's the one who was procuring underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein. No. Yes, and that trial is going on in a time when the holidays are happening and people are paying attention to that. No one's listening to the media that much. all of these folks are they're resigning and they're leaving, and all these things are happening right in the midst of this. And we're talking about shootings in schools and all of these kind of wild things. But no one wants to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Buckle up, folks. A lot of stuff's coming. And actually, I'm going to take a break, but when I come back, I'm going to blow your minds with something about your favorite show on television, Yellowstone. I'm going to piss some people off about Yellowstone. No spoilers. I'm not going to talk about the actual show. I'm going to blow your mind with something because someone said to me at an event the other day that the last thing we have left is like rodeo in Western culture. And I blew their minds. I upset the apple cart, and I'm gonna upset yours too. We'll get some hate mail about this, but it's gonna mess you up. All right. Hey, it's almost time to start thinking about what you're gonna get everybody for Christmas. I mean, like right now, you got to do it because you got to get it in before Christmas. iTarget Pro. That's what I want you to get. Revolutionary system. You can dry fire practice with your actual firearm in the comfort, safety, and privacy of your own home. Somebody said to me, Gerald said to me on a live chat the other day, they said, well, you still have to get the recoil. Well, no. If you dry fire, you learn the trigger function and the speed and the reaction and all that stuff of doing it without the recoil so that if you practice it that way, the recoil doesn't change the way your trigger function is. You understand what I'm saying? So learn to dry fire practice. Ammo, as we know, has gone through the roof. You got law-abiding gun owners out there. You need a good way to train regularly. You don't have to go to the range or buy the ammo. Just download iTarget's proprietary app, load the laser bullet into the firearm, start your training experience. You get the muscle memory. You get the target reaction speed, sight alignment, trigger function. You'll learn your weapon, all right? iTarget Pro comes in all major calibers, including .223 for your AR, so you can stay sharp with almost any firearm. Go to itargetpro.com. People will get mad at me because I call it a weapon and not a firearm. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'll get you 10% off plus free shipping with offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. Smart way, the smartest way for you to practice, and it pays for itself in a day. The letter I, targetpro.com. itargetpro.com, offer code Chad. All right. Let's talk about this for a minute. I debated even doing this because this is going to make some people upset. But look, don't throw water on the fire alarm, okay? I'm just the messenger here. I've been doing some research on all these things, and specifically through my campaigning. One of the concerns that I have is the nation of China, specifically the CCP, the Communist government of China, that's buying up American land. Like China doesn't have arable land left. So they have to go out and they have to find natural resources. Like that's why they own a ton of Africa, specifically Ethiopia. They have to have arable land. They have to have land that can grow things. Well, they've been coming in. They've been buying up a lot of America's resources. In fact, I get calls all the time from people who have some story about some neighboring farm or ranch or a wind farm or something that's been bought up or sold to the Chinese. And it's happening in all these different states. It's happening a lot in Texas. We know the Chinese are buying our resources. Nobody's disputing that. And a lot of people are out there will say, oh, well, you know, infusing money into the U.S. economy, it's a healthy thing. Yeah. But when it comes to China, that's a different story. So I want to remind you guys about a guy. You've heard his name. He's starting to become somewhat of a household name, especially if you watch the show Yellowstone, a guy by the name of Taylor Sheridan. Now, Taylor, and I like Taylor. I think he's a good guy from what I know of him. I've been around him once or twice. Taylor Sheridan is a guy. He did grow up on a Texas ranch, and I don't know if you guys know this. If you watch Sons of Anarchy, he was like the peckerhead cop, the guy they killed everybody in that show. So I can't say they're the one he's the one they killed off because they killed off everybody in Sons of Anarchy. But Taylor Sheridan, he had an idea for a screenplay, and he pitched it to some different Hollywood production companies out there, and most of them said, "Nah, we don't want to do a show about cowboys." And you know. Paramount, however, they decided to jump on it, and they even hired on a guy by the name of Kevin Costner to do the show, and paid him about $500,000 per episode, just to make it a big thing. So they got a lot of media attention and things like that, and then there was major attention that was given to two Chinese firms, including $1 billion that was paid into Paramount just 1 year before Yellowstone was launched. Now, Taylor Sheridan, of course, is the creator and the writer of Yellowstone. This was the idea that he had. And I won't even try to pronounce the Chinese firms that are out there. But let me switch gears for a minute. So in 2015, there was this New York business guy by the name of Thomas Tull. All right. He brokered a deal with a Chinese billionaire who owned the Wanda Group to buy Legendary Entertainment. Now, you guys know Legendary Entertainment. That's who makes all the DC Comics movies, right? The Superman, the Batman, you know, the whatever they are, Justice League, all those things. Wonder Woman. So they bought Legendary Entertainment from Thomas Tull for $3.5 billion in cash, stock and debt. So what's interesting about that Chinese outfit is they also own AMC Theaters, which is 8,200 screens across the country. So China, the point I'm making, owns Hollywood. All right? They own the theaters. They own a lot of the entertainment that's out there. So in 2021, there was this thing called Teton Ridge. Started popping up everywhere. Teton Ridge is owned by none other than Thomas Tull, the guy who owned Legendary Entertainment, who sold it to the Chinese. And they reported, they started telling everybody that Teton Ridge is this nonprofit type organization. They fell in love with the history and heritage of Western culture. So they started acquiring different aspects of Western culture, such as American Rodeo, Cowboys and Indians Magazine, Better Barrel Races, American Quarter Horse Association, PRCA, the naming rights at the 2021 National Finals Rodeo, and Run for a Million. Now the Chinese, because they own Thomas Tull and own Teton Ridge, guess what? Now they own our Western culture of America. Now, this is a big deal, folks. So, and by the way, Taylor Sheridan is the founder of Run for a Million, which is one of the things the Chinese own now. So the most famous horse ranch in the world is right here in Texas. That's the Sixes Ranch. It sold in 2021 to the Yellowstone Creator Group, which, of course, is Taylor Sheridan as the front man of the group. And Teton Ridge LLC Corporation, licensed in Weatherford, Texas, listed as a foreign entity that was just created in 2021 as one of the holdings listed at the Sixes Ranch. Now, where that's a problem is the Chinese government has come in, and what is the last bastion of saying this is true hard rock Americanism is the Western culture. The cowboy, right? The guy that rides in on the horse, he's the hero, he's the white hat, he's the knight in shining armor. That is America's white knight, it's the cowboy. And so what happens is the Chinese come in and have bought up your Western heritage. So the folks that are creating Yellowstone, the folks that are doing rodeo, because I had a guy who said to me the other day, he said, well, the last thing we've got is rodeo. We don't have NFL, we don't have NBA, we don't have all this woke. It's just a rodeo now. So guess what? We got the Chinese that are preying on our history and our heritage and our Western culture. They're stealing our land and our resources right out from under us. And guess what we're doing? We're out buying another Yellowstone T-shirt and watching another episode, which I will do. I'm an episode behind, Mark. So I know, you diehards out there, you're going to be mad at me for pointing it out, but it's all owned by China. The message you're getting is backed by Chinese money, and that includes our Western heritage. We got to stop this mess. We got to stop this nonsense. Just taking it to the highest bidder, and unfortunately, right now, I heard Donald Trump say it in an interview with I don't know if it was Glenn Beck, just a clip because they were just together, or Bill O'Reilly, but he said it's not that China has that much money, but they can make that kind of money. They make a lot of money for people. And that's what happens. So anyway, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal. Chris cares not. Because he's over there playing Chinese video games on his phone right now. It doesn't matter. Look at him. Okay, show him to me, Mark. Look at him. He's over there. He's probably playing Yu-Gi-Oh or something. Some Chinese nonsense. Just be careful where your allegiances lie, folks. Of course, speaking of Texas, they were in the news over the week because Gavin Newsom, who is the California governor, he says he's going to exploit the Supreme Court response to the Texas abortion law. So what they did is the Supreme Court upheld the Texas abortion law, the heartbeat bill, but they still made it possible where abortion providers could sue the Texas governor, government. But he wants to use that abortion law to enact stricter gun control in California. So the California governor announced late Saturday that he has directed California lawmakers and the California Attorney General to enact new gun control policies by crafting a law that mirrors the Texas abortion law. He said he wants that law to direct civil enforcement against Californians who manufacture, distribute, or sell an assault weapon or ghost gun kit or parts in the state of California. So going to be like a $10,000 per violation plus costs and attorney fees against anyone who manufactures, distributes, or sells. So the equivalent of that. Now, here's the issue that I have with that. And I'll just jump right into my commentary on why that's dumb. So first of all, what's the argument about abortion? They say, well, if you make abortion illegal, there's going to be back alley abortions and people are going to break the law anyway. They're going to go get their abortions. Well, here's the difference between an abortion and a gun. The criminals that are getting guns are already getting back alley guns. They're already getting them from somewhere else, from nefarious means, okay? And this would be the equivalent of saying on the abortion side of things that I'm going to go out and sue the scalpel maker because of the abortion, right? Like I'm gonna hold the scalpel maker accountable for these abortions or something like that. Because when you're talking about the manufacturer, you're not worried about the accountability being put on the person who pulls the trigger, the person who enacts the violence. You're going after you're going all the way back to the source. This is similar to this Michigan, not Michigan. Was it Michigan? The school shooting last week. Oxford, Michigan. Is that what it was? I'm going off of memory here. But where the kid comes in and he shoots, and now they're holding the parents accountable too and charge them with involuntary manslaughter. This is what I mean. This is overreach. You're going back, so you're going to charge the parents for manufacturing the kid who went in and committed murder. So this is prosecutorial overreach across the board. And at some point in time, it's gonna get to a point where if ideologically they're opposed to you or something you believe in, for instance, whether it's free speech or Second Amendment rights or whatever that may be, they're going to trace it all the way back to the source in order to hold everything that you believe in accountable. And therefore, it's going to violate. You're going to be in violation from the outset because they're not just coming at you and the infraction. They're coming at the complete underpinnings of everything you believe in. That's the logic that's there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes down. But again, I'm still waiting on somebody to define an assault weapon or an assault rifle. They can't even do that, so I don't understand how these lawsuits are supposed to go. Because, again, if you continue to change language, you're going to change culture, and nothing's going to mean anything anymore. And so we just keep calling it an assault rifle. So racist. I don't know why, but it just felt racist to me, Chris. Speaking of racists, Sarah Silverman. She went after Joy Reid. I tell you, they eat their own. They really do. So obviously she's a liberal. She's a comedian, Sarah Silverman. She caught a lot of criticism. She went after MSNBC host Joy Reid. She told her, she said, you should read the articles before you talk about them because Ron DeSantis in Florida, he said that he was going to revive the Florida State Guard, a civilian force that he would have total control over. I've advocated for that. In Texas, we have the Texas State Guard. We need to empower and equip them with our border crisis. But, of course, the Democrats and the media members, including Joy Reid at MSNBC, they started going crazy, getting hysterical. They said it proved that DeSantis has authoritarian impulses. On Twitter, Joy Reid said, so y'all know this is fascisty bananas, right? Making up words. Let's play that, please.
Own side. We can't even critique anyone in your own party without punishment. One of the hosts of The View was like, what hubris for Sarah Silverman to accuse a black woman of not reading. Oi, Jesus H, what the I surrender. Good grief. I don't want any trouble. I cannot believe I need to say this, but I did not criticize Joy Ann because she's black, but because she's a Harvard-educated journalist with the responsibility, ideally, of showing the whole picture and not just a piece of a picture.
Yeah. So what she's referring to there was she came out and she said you need to read the entire article before you comment, because the article went on to say that Florida would become the 23rd state in the United States to have such a force activated. So that disproves the notion of a fascistic behavior from DeSantis. And so that was the point that Sarah Silverman, she was basically saying, I would like to get straight news instead of everybody spinning this and saying, oh, well, this is a fascist move. No, it's not. It's if you understand national politics and policy, you'd understand that this is not just Ron DeSantis doing this. It's happening across the country. There's precedent for that, okay? And it is a constitutional right. I mean, look, the Texas Constitution, for instance, Article 4, Section 7 says that the governor of the state can act as commander-in-chief over the Texas state military and can equip them to do the job because you have to have that in case the National Guard gets called up by the federal government, who is their final authority. Now, if the National Guard's operating in a state, the governor has the authority to disperse them however he needs to. He can put them wherever they need to be, where they're most effective and most useful. But in a case of a federal crisis or something of that nature, the federal government has the right to pull the National Guard out. Therefore, you're left with the state guard, all right? The states have the right to do that. I had a dude, I used a tweet the other day about states' right, and this guy, of course, a black guy, Joy Reid, don't come at me. He said, oh, you're using words like states' rights. And way to pull it back to the Civil War era, dude. I'm taking it all the way back to Baron de Montesquieu, okay? I'm going back to French philosophy about governments and particularly republics, in which we understand that states, yes, they do have rights, and those rights are very important, and not the least of which is your ability to defend themselves. So I want to come back to this Silverman story in a minute. We got to take a quick break. Patriot Mobile, they help you stand up. Just standing with them is standing for something you believe in right now. And those are challenging things to do these days, just standing for what you believe in, because you get attacked. So buy from companies that stand with you, and the folks that believe in what you and I believe. Listen, now more than ever, we got to stick together. And there's been one mobile phone company willing to stand with you in defense of liberty and religious freedom since 2012. Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They offer broad nationwide coverage. In fact, they use the same towers as all the major carriers. Patriot Mobile's got plans to fit any budget, and their 100% U.S.-based customer support team provides exceptional customer support. And you know what? They share your values, support organizations fighting for religious freedom, constitutional rights, sanctity of life, and our veteran and first responder heroes. So go to patriotmobile.com/Chad. Call 972-PATRIOT. If you want to talk to somebody, you can get free activation with offer code CHAD. I spell it, Chad. They always have special discounts for veterans and first responders and for multi-line accounts. Support a company that loves America, loves you, and shares your values. PatriotMobile.com/Chad or call 972-PATRIOT. That's PatriotMobile.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad, and we'll be right back. Hey, before we carry on, I want to talk to you about something. I come before you today to tell you that I have fallen into a deep and dark well, a valley of darkness and despair, a hole, if you will. Yes, I, like so many others around me, have decided that I am part of a marginalized group. And why, you might ask, would I want to wallow around and break myself upon the shoals of discontent and oppression? Very simple. I did not choose the marginalized life. The marginalized life chose me. Alternately, I've seen that Joe Biden loves to give money to marginalized people, and I'm reaching out to get some of that sweet, sweet pity money. Joe Biden, the president who shuts down pipelines but makes up for it by giving away free gas, just ask Camilla Bowles, announced the other day that the U.S. is going to be providing funding for media outlets around the world, ostensibly to promote the furtherance of free speech. It's part of the presidential initiative for democratic renewal. In short, the administration plans to give millions and millions of dollars to an organization called the International Fund for Public Interest Media, which in no way sounds like the kind of group that would funnel money into individual pockets rather than do what it claims to do, but I digress. Now, the stated goal here is to commit, quote, critical seed money to the fund to help foster America's commitment to sustain independent media around the world, including those led by and given voice to women and other marginalized groups, which sounds delightful and is the reason I've decided to become a marginalized media personality myself. Also, since the fund is expressly aimed at foreign media, I've decided to change my name. Paco Prather has a nice ring to it, see? Folks, no matter how useful a vehicle is, you've always got to check to see who's behind the wheel. If Joe Biden was a man of honor, and if his administration were anything other than a pack of rabid wolves, then I might actually look at this as a step in the right direction. Supporting independent journalism around the world sounds like a good idea because in some ways it is a good idea. Whether you're an interventionalist or a non-interventionalist, I think most of us can agree that spreading free speech throughout the world is inherently a good thing. Those countries whom we all regard as the world's most dangerous generally are that way in large part because they have a tendency to smother free speech with a pillow and then shoot a gun through the pillow. But here's my prediction. It doesn't take a great sage throwing chicken bones on the table to suggest that if we follow the money, we're apt to see corruption. And by the way, garden variety corruption where people are sticking their fat hands into the till is the least bad scenario if this thing's dirty. What's far worse and unfortunately far more likely is that this money will be going to journalism. Listen, it's the top-down control sort of way of journalism, right? If this administration can control international narratives half as well as they control the narrative here at home, then we got a bigger problem on our hands. Now, Joe Biden might not be able to put a word together on a Scrabble board to save his life, but his administration isn't entirely shot through with incompetence. There are people within who understand the game. They know how to play it and will be ruthless in their approach to keeping their side of the aisle in power. Now, all of that being said, this is Paco Prather with the fingers of one hand on the pulse of world politics and the fingers of the other hand reaching for that check. God bless you, Joe. I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, he's going to fund this international independent media using tax dollars. I mean, what could go wrong? I mean, really? Sounds like a free and independent media to me. That is, it tends to be you tend to submit to the hand that feeds you. It's amazing what's going to go wrong here. So he's wanting to direct $30 million. Paco Prather, it has a great ring to it. I don't know why I'm starting to take on Chris's identity, but why don't you host the show, Chris? Chris Cruz could host the show, and that takes care of it all. We get some of that Joe Biden media money, baby. Yeah. So it's gonna be a mess, is what that's going to be, and you're gonna go back to. Look, and I wanted to say that before I go back to the Sarah Silverman story, because Sarah Silverman's deal is a perfect example. If somebody like a Joy Reid, who claims to be a journalist, who is a Harvard-educated person, wants to come out and say something based on a headline she read somewhere or some Twitter opinion without actually reading the article, then journalism is dead. In fact, if you don't have objective journalism, so journalistic objectivity is when I can read an article or watch a news story, and at the end of it, the host or the writer, the person giving me the news, I don't know their opinion one way or another. I don't know how they feel about it. If I know how that writer feels about it, then that's become an opinion piece. That's an op-ed. It's not journalism anymore. Tell me the news. That's what Sarah Silverman has actually gone on to say. And she said, look, I just want you to read the story and report it. So I have to give her props, Sarah Silverman. And, of course, they came out at her and they said, oh, you're saying she can't read because she's black. I mean, that's a reach. I mean, you really are hurting your back reaching that far. So, and that was what she said. She said, we can't even critique anyone in our own party without punishment. They eat their own. I've always, never mind. So, she said, where do I just get the plain old news? I need a news outlet that's just the facts, something that I can draw my own opinion. It's just, yeah, I don't know about that. We're pretty opinionated around here. Watch the Steve Deace show. That's what I say. If you want to watch the news, if you really want to get informed on the news, You could always watch 4 Minute Buzz with Hillary Kennedy. She's pretty solid, just straight reporting the facts. Watch Steve Dace. I've been indoctrinated by Steve Dace. That's a T-shirt. That's the Dace Doctrine. That's a T-shirt. I want to come up. Y'all tell me. Y'all let me know. Would you buy a shot glass? I want to put shot glasses on our chatonblaze.com. Of course, use promo code CHAD20 for anything you buy at shop.blazemedia.com. I want to do shot glasses that say the only shot I'll take. Right? And let's put whatever on there. But just I think we need to talk to Alexander, see if we can get shot glasses. I'm sure we can. If Stu Bergier can get a stupid pen, we can get shot glasses. Something. And then just say the only shot I'll take. You know, Steven Crowder's got the Mug Club. Let's do the shooters. You know, the shot club or something like that. The shooters. I'll come up with a good name, but let's come up with like a club where everybody gets their shot glass. And whether you drink or not, you know, just be your thing. The only shot I'll take. And maybe you don't take any kind of shot, but you can say, this is the only shot I'll take. I think it's a good idea, Chris. Let's do it. Let's talk to him today about that. I think you guys will do it. And every now and then, I think we'll start ending every episode with a shot. We'll just take a little shot, a little tequila shot or something like that. And be, shooters! Where's my shooters? We call it Chad Prather's Active Shooters. I don't know how that'll go. As Mark rubs his eyes. We probably will not go with that name. But I think it'd be fun to have a shot club. Anyway, my gosh. What could go wrong? Joe Biden's going to fund an international media. You know, here's the thing. You want to tell the truth, get out there and tell the truth. It's just the problem is you're always going to have ideologies and ideologues who are going to come out, and they're going to be the ones who control that. They're going to siphon that money in a certain way to get their message out there. There's nobody that's neutral. You know, the other day in Brian Williams' resignation, when was that, yesterday? He resigned from NBC, and he said he didn't see himself as a left-leaning liberal. He didn't see himself as a conservative. He said he saw himself as an institutionalist. I don't know about that. But everybody sees themselves as something. Everybody has their opinions on things. I'm not as far right as a lot of people accuse me of being. I make fun of everyone equally. So, you know, the tendency is, my thing is I'm a small government guy, right? I'm a small government. I want you out of my business. You know, I love our buddy Eric July. I can't believe we've never had Eric on the show. Got to get Eric on the show. Who's a borderline anarchist. Like, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take care of mine, you take care of yours, and let the chips fall where they may. But I just want everybody to be left alone. You do you, boo. That's my philosophy. Anyway, God, I need a shot right now. Hey, listen, get prepared. Tac Pack, the monthly premier subscription box. I love my Tac Pack. Military, tactical, prepper, Second Amendment enthusiasts love it. You got the new attacks on the Second Amendment. Now more than ever, it's important to show your support and get equipped. $49.95 a month. You get at least $100 worth of stuff from all the great companies. 511, Sons of Liberty, Gunworks, Mission First, Tactical, Armor Spec, tons more. AR-15 parts if you're doing your build. You get your everyday carry tools, your knives, the gear to keep you prepared. And the holidays are right here, so Tac Pack's a great gift. December's loaded with the machined AR parts, tools, and got a whole lot more. It's a value of $105 this month. You can sign up for the Tac Pack Plus, which has a value of over $245 in the December pack. Use the promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad. It's free. When you check out, you'll get a free extra bag of tactical goodies shipped out with your first pack. So don't wait. They're flying off the shelf. They've sold out before, and the deadline. They've sold out before the deadline the last few months. Go to TacPack. That's TACPack.com. Sign up. TacPack.com. Use offer code CHAD. And us independent journalists will be right back. Hey, welcome back, guys. It's always a pleasure, especially on a Monday when you got something to look forward to. You can have a good time, have a good laugh, kind of get your mind away from just the craziness that's going on in the world today. And it tends to all pile up on Monday. You know, that big hangover from the weekend is just sitting on your face. And I got a good surprise for you today. Brand new comedy special that has just come out today. It's called Bite the Bullet. My friend Jim Florentine, he is joining us on the show now. Jim, welcome to the show, man. Good to see you, buddy. How is everything?
Yeah, man, it's good to see you too.
How's where are you at? You down in Florida? You New York? Where you at? Where you at in the country?
I'm in New Jersey.
Okay. How are things up there? Are they mask Nazis? Is it going crazy?
I was just in a supermarket. It's about 90% mask today. Yeah, they're all putting them back on, so it's like I'm walking around. I'm like, good. I stayed like 20 minutes extra just to annoy people because you're getting the dirty looks again. I'm like, relax. You got the third booster. Okay, relax. And you got your mask on. You'll be fine.
No, man, it's gotten to be insanity. I mean, these people. I'm like, why don't you just get 100 of them? Just get booster after booster, just till your arm falls off. You got the new special. It's out today. It's called Bite the Bullet. Where'd you shoot this thing? And tell us a little bit about it.
I shot it in Fairfield, Connecticut, at the Fairfield Theater. Nice little theater. I shot it back, and I put it out free on YouTube. So you just go to YouTube. You can watch it for nothing.
That's awesome.
YouTube.com/Jim Florentine Comedy is where you can find it. Yeah, and then your audience will like it because I do some transgender jokes right off the bat.
I love it. I love that my reputation precedes me in such a way. Apparently, I hate everybody, so it's good. I make fun
of Fauci. I go after Fauci too.
Nice. I love that, dude. There could be nothing off limits, right? I
don't know if anyone remembers. Fauci was around. I don't know if you talked about it, but Fauci's been around since the AIDS scare. That guy made me almost, I had a garage sale. I started selling my stuff because Fauci said I was going to die because I was a heterosexual and, they were all going to get AIDS too. So I'm like, oh my God, I didn't wear a condom like 20 different times. So I had a garage. I was like, I might as well start selling my stuff because I got 6 months to live. He lied back then.
Do you remember that though? I mean, honestly, with the AIDS scare, like you were scared to be around anybody. It was like, oh my God, if you've ever done anything, like, if you've masturbated, you're probably going to get AIDS, right? That was all Fauci.
Magic Johnson. As soon as Magic Johnson came out, that's when it was, and it was just like, and they were him and the CDC were going 50% of male heterosexuals are HIV positive, and in another year it'll be 75%. And I'm like, oh my God. And then like 6 months later, I'm like, well, all my friends that are womanizers and these guys in rock bands, they're not dropping dead all of a sudden. What's going on here? And then you realize it was just, it's just to scare you into wearing condoms, basically.
Yeah, I wrote a bit a while back, about a year and a half ago, I guess about a year ago, and I gave it to my friend Jesse Payton. I told him to use it because it fit with one of the things he was doing. I said, the only virus advice that I'm taking is coming from Magic Johnson. That's the only guy that I'm going to listen to. I mean, I want the kind of AIDS where you not only survive, but you get fat. Like that's Magic Johnson virus right there. So how have you found things? I mean, out there doing comedy, you've stayed pretty busy. How have things gone for you? How are you finding the audiences these days?
The audiences that come to the comedy clubs are not offended. They want to laugh at edgy stuff. They're tired of walking on eggshells and pretend they're being offended by everything. So when they get in a dark comedy club, they love it. I feel like the crowds have been even better. They're not sensitive at all, and the sensitive people stay home, which is good.
Yeah,
they're not coming out, which is great. So it's a resurgence for comedy. It really is, and the crowds have been awesome. All the comics say the same thing. Like nobody's walking out going, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that," this and that. So it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I try to tell people when I'm on media hits, when people say they want to bring up the Chappelle thing and people getting offended, I said, by and large, that's not your comedy crowd. It's the comedy crowd's not offended. It's the woke mob that's out there that's watching from the outside. They weren't even part of the audience. Those are the people that are having the problems. I think that comedy is intended to be edgy. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. You do a damn good job of that. You're a master when it comes to that. And I think that's what people are looking for when they go to a show.
I got into comedy. Every comic got in to push buttons, to maybe go over the line. Did I go over the line? Okay, maybe I need to go back a little. That's what you were supposed to do as a comic. You know, and now all of a sudden it's like, you know, yeah, the woke mob that doesn't come to comedy clubs is trying to say, no, you can't say that, you can't do that. So,
yeah,
you know, with Netflix, I mean, at least they stood up to the woke mob. You know, at least they did that. But who knows the next person? You know, it's Chappelle, so of course they're gonna stand up for it. But who knows if they're gonna come after the next person? But I never paid attention to those people. It was just like, you know, they're not coming to the show, so who cares? They're not your fans. You're not losing anybody. And as a matter of fact, you'll get more fans. Shane Gillis is bigger now that they Saturday Night Live fired him after 2 days than if he would have taken the gig. And I love that.
Yeah, I was listening. When was it? It was the last couple of weeks. I ran across. I've got these different files. I've got these things on my playlist and stuff. And some of your stuff was popping up, and it was back. You talking about one of your specials that you did, one of your albums that you did, where you were talking about how big your kid's pecker is, and then you were talking about you made some pretty funny jokes, and it was like I would never date my own kid. I mean, his dick's too big. Most people can't handle that kind of comedy, man. I mean, I know. And now in my new special, I talk about how my kid has discovered masturbation. He's taking like 3 one-hour showers a day now, so I make it even more uncomfortable. Dude, there's not. I mean, at the end of the day, and Rogan said this a while back. He said mocking is in the job description, right? That's what it's about. You're supposed to be able to point fingers and really make people uncomfortable. And I think George Carlin, Lenny Bruce probably rolling over in their graves because they went to jail for this stuff. And you're keeping it true to the art and the craft, and I appreciate you, man. I'm excited to see the special. People could get it, Jim Florentine Comedy, right, on YouTube?
Yeah, youtube.com/Jim Florentine Comedy. It's up there. It's for free. And, I'm really proud of it. It took me like 2.5 years to put the whole special together.
Awesome.
And I think it came out really good. I'm excited.
That's
getting
good.
Really good feedback and everything, so...
Well, I'm anticipating in the days ahead. We've promised to do it. We haven't done it. I want to do some shows together, man. I think we can have a lot of fun.
Absolutely, dude. I definitely want to do your.
Check it out.
Chad, our friend Chad that opened for you said your crowds are phenomenal. They're great. So that's the crowds I want to perform in front of. So
they'd love you. They'd love you. And of course, talking about Chad Zumach, my good buddy down in Florida. He's awesome. Jim Florentine. You can check him out also at jimflorentine.com if I'm not mistaken. And check him out. Jim, thanks for coming on the show, man. I'll give you a shout, and we'll figure something out. Be blessed, brother.
Thanks,
Talk to you
Chad.
soon.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Bye. Oh, it's good to see Jim Florentine. He's a good buddy, man. I tell you what, the world of comedy has been hit hard over the last year and a half with all the shutdowns and quarantines, but I agree with him. I mean, the comedy fans, they have a good time. Yeah, you can get a little edgy, folks. That's the nature of comedy. Why we do what we do. But again, sometimes it's just simply a lot of fun. Don't forget, go to where podcasts are offered, specifically Apple Podcasts, Cathead 1597. Off the rails, it's always a good day when Chad is on a rant. Chris Cruz is lame, though. I got to agree with that. I got to agree. Hey, listen, our hearts and our minds and our prayers and our money is going out to the tornado victims. Kentucky, Illinois, Arkansas, 6 states were affected, a lot of people. A portion of our proceeds, all of our proceeds over the weekend from WatchChad.com went there, and we're still giving a large portion of our proceeds. So if you want to buy a shirt to help, go do that. We're donating everything we got. So WatchChad.com, go to the store. And, of course, ChadOnBlaze.com. Get your stuff. We love you. And tomorrow will be Tuesday, be Monday's hangover, so come back and join us again. We love you. God bless you. We'll talk to you then. Bye.